Hello all and welcome back to my channel, Rover Turbo. In this video I'm going to be working on the Sierra, so the Sierra 4x4. So this is part 5, I believe, if I remember correctly, on the Sierra. So in this one I'm basically putting it all back together. So I've figured out the timing cover and the water pump and basically, you know, got all that sorted out and basically in the process of putting it all back together. So I'm kind of getting back to the point now that I was kind of when I got it, so I'm kind of not going backwards anymore. So once I get all that sorted, I've just got to get the battery tray welded and the plenum back on, and then I can actually then start doing stuff for the MOT. So I hope you enjoy the video. Please subscribe, comment, like, all that normal stuff, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so I'm continuing on with this job here of trying to get all of this cleaned out and sealed up. So I've taken the windscreen wiper arms off, and then I took off the plastic scuttle that goes across there. It was held in with these plastic clips which go in here. You sort of have to get the pick in behind and pull these away like that to get it out. Mine didn't have any screws in it. I think it's supposed to have screws in here, but that didn't have it. It has these plastic side pieces which screw onto here and that one over there. So that plastic piece comes off, and then it gives you access to the wiper motor, which is here. So I've just unplugged that, so I just pushed those two out, and then that just popped off. So this fixes in some 10mm bolts here and here, 2 there, 1 there, and 2 there. So they literally just go through the front edge, and then you can pull the complete wiper motor assembly out. So that gives me a little bit more access to this under here. So the next thing is the heater box. I'm hoping that I can just undo the 2 bolts either side and a few connectors or whatever, and I can just take this out from the engine bay. I'm hoping that's what I'm going to be able to do. It makes it a little bit more complicated because of the aircon, and obviously we've got the heater hose. I don't know if that's just the fan. I'm assuming that's just the fan. I don't know, because the heater hoses go in further down there. They don't go into this box. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to undo the bolts and I'm going to see what happens. I've also got the rocker covers powder coated. So, and some new gaskets on there. So I wasn't going to replace the bolts and the little washers, but I've got one missing and they're looking a bit naff now compared to how good this looks. So I've ordered a set to go on there. That's a fail then. So obviously this box does come out this way, because obviously these plastic tabs are on this side, so it can't go in, but it's not moving. So I'm assuming something's bolted, the heater box or whatever is bolted to this on the inside. So I'm assuming you have to take that box out first before you can get this out, which, if you needed to replace that heater blower, which is in there, it'd be a total nightmare. That's the aircon evaporator there, and then obviously this is the heater blower. So, and I'm assuming under here is the, looks like probably a resistor for the speeds, so that's easy to get to. So yeah, it would have been nice to get that out, but I think that you can't really get, I think it's clean underneath there. So what I'll do is once I get got this sealed up and this side welded, I'll rinse all this out with water. I'll blast water underneath there, and obviously if it leaks inside when I do that, then it's going to have to come out. The dashboard does need some attention because it is cracked, but I wasn't going there at this point. I found out that this plate, it does have 2 cutouts in it. It's supposed to be like that. So I got the timing gear off. It's just 1 bolt in the middle, which is this one here. Came out quite easily. And there's a timing mark. There's a timing mark there. There's a timing mark there, so that dot. So rather than marking it, I thought I might as well just turn the engine over until the 2 dots line up, and then undone that bolt on there, and then just basically just got 2 large screwdrivers and a lever bar, and just carefully each side just worked it backwards and forwards, and just until it eventually just eased its way off. So this is what I can see now. So there's 1 bolt there, it looks like it holds the cover on. These 2 bolts here are for the cam. There's 2 bolts, one there, one there. So this plate was never going to come off without that timing gear on. So I'm going to take these 2 bolts out. So I'm guessing there are 13, probably not. Yep, 13. Just being a little bit careful with these, obviously, because I don't want to drop them in the sump. That would be a pain, because this is just open now. Oh, here we go. Bloody hell, it over the pop, didn't it? There you go, that's what's behind it. And I guess the 2 O-rings, you can see the O-ring there. Looks like there's one there. So I'll give that a clean up because there's a gasket on both sides. Must be 2 different gaskets then. 2 different size gaskets. So yeah, so these are the O-rings, which must seal on the cover, on the front cover. So yeah, that one. So I'll give this all a clean up, get all the surfaces all correct, get that plate on with a gasket, get that plate on with a new gasket. Probably a light, very light smear of RTV sealant, and job's good. I've got the replacement cover here with the new O-ring in it. So my plan, because I've got the new horseshoe, rubber horseshoe, you can call it a horseshoe, which goes in this groove, and then you get two gaskets, one for the back of this plate and one for the front of the plate. So this plate. So what I've got to do is I'm going to smear a very tiny amount of RTV sealant over this entire surface, and in these corners hold the plate on, which only holds on by 2 bolts. Then as quickly as possible put on the timing gear, bolt that on, then apply some sealant around the back of these, and then put these little, those washers fit snugly on there. because they then fit perfectly inside those, so they don't interfere with that. And then they seal on the back edges of this and this to seal these water channels into the water pump. And then apply another thin coating of sealant. Did I mention the gasket? Yeah, sealant, gasket, plate, O-rings, then more sealant, then the gasket. Then I'm going to cut up this sump gasket. I'm going to make two sections here and here, because obviously the gasket goes underneath, which I can't do. Then I'm going to apply some sealant along here, under here, here. Basically just put a thin bead of sealant over everything, and then put the front cover on and then bolt it all up. I need to do that relatively quickly before the silicone behind here dries, before I fully bolted it up. So not looking forward to this one, but it's just something. I've cleaned all this up, it's all been scraped, this has all been cleaned and scraped, and obviously that's new, all replacement, they're painted, so everything's all clean. So all I need to do is give all the bolts a bit of a clean, and then I can start putting this all back together again. So I've got the back plate on and the gasket, the two retaining bolts behind there. So this lines up with the two dots, but this is key weighed anyway, so as long as it doesn't move when you take it off, it will go back in the same place. Because these teeth are at an angle, you have to sort of put the bottom in at an angle first to engage it into the teeth, and then it goes in at the top. So I'll put my rubber pieces in there and there with a bit of silicone. So now all I need to do is just put silicone all the way around and the other gasket, and then on the back of the cover, and then that will go back on. So that's on, it's all bolted up. So I've got all the bolts in all the way around. I've got the bolts in from underneath around the sump. So that's pretty much it. So this bolt is a pain to get to with the pulley, the crankshaft pulley on. The next thing I'm going to do is the water pump, and then I can start putting some of the stuff back on, like the brackets for the alternator, the lower pipe brackets and stuff like that. So yeah, a bit fiddly, but it wasn't too bad. Everything sort of fell into place relatively easily, so yeah, I'm happy with that. So finally, after all this time, I can put the water pump on. This has been a long time coming. So again, belt and braces, I'm just going to smear a little bit of RTV sealant on both sides of the gasket. And yeah, so basically it's on both sides, and then pop it on. I've got to try and find the bolts for this, it's been so long. I think it might be this. They need a bit of attention, don't they? Yeah. So these are all the bolts, but there's one missing, but there was one bolt missing, which I believe was this one here, which you can't really get to with the crankshaft. So I need to find another bolt. Need to clean all these up, find another bolt. So for the first time in a very long time, it's got a water pump on it, and a water pump that fits the car. So with no stupid join-in crack, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, this car's been going backwards for a long time. So finally it's going forward. So I think this bracket goes up behind this bolt here, and then you've got the alternator, which I believe bolts onto there with this bolt, and then I can put the pulley on with the bolt obviously through the middle, and then I can start making up the, you know, put the thermostat in and the cover, put the pipe on the back, and obviously work out what I'm going to do with this here, because this was obviously originally designed to go onto the side. Now I need to go onto the bottom, so I'm not absolutely sure how I'm going to do that at the moment. I have to figure something out. I wanted to at least get the timing cover on and the crank pulley on so I can move it. I've got to move it over a bit because the gap there is not very big, and I'm risking damaging the people opening the door on it. So yeah, so I'm going to crack on with this, get as much as I can done before. It's not supposed to rain today, but it already has rained, so go figure. So I found this lower pipe here. The crank timing mark was in the wrong place, so I moved that up to there, so it allowed me to put this bracket in this bolt. So I found a piece of pipe, so I took off all of this, which I don't even know is original to the car, and I found a piece of the correct pipe, which is just an elbow basically, which just goes straight up onto the bottom of the housing there, 2 Jubilee clips, and then the water pump, sorry, the thermostat housing and the bypass pipe at the back. So this is all connected. I had to use pure silicone on this one and this one because all of the gasket kits I've got have got the wrong gaskets in. They're for the earlier type, and they don't quite match up on there, and they don't quite match up on there because they have the extra square piece. So I must have bought them not paying attention to what one I bought. So yeah, so the bolt in there is for the alternator in there, but I haven't tightened that up. So I'm just going to put the crank pulley in there, so just sprayed a bit of WD-40 on there and on the inside of there. And then I've got to give the radiators out at the moment. I want to give that a coat of paint just to protect it. There's nothing wrong with it, it just needs a bit of a coat of paint. And obviously once that's in, I can then put all the pulleys on and the belts on and everything. So, but once the crank pulley's on and bolted on, I can at least start it and then move it. I won't leave it running for very long because obviously it won't have any coolant in it, but it should be fine. So yep, let me go and I'll do that. Right, well that's everything back together. Thermostat on, the back plate, lower pulley, upper pulley, and all the belts are lower. Brand new alternator belt, brand new power steering belts. Everything's all tensioned up, so the last thing I need to do is to put the radiator in, connect all the rest of the hoses up. I'm still on the lookout for coolant hoses. I don't know how different this is because it's an aircon model. I think this, because it has this, because it's an aircon model, I don't know how different all the pipes are. But I mean, I'm trying to get hold of at least a top hose and a bottom hose, as it comes sort of like as this one piece that goes up to the bottom of the expansion bottle. I managed to get a replacement expansion bottle, brand new one, but I'm not going to put that in yet until I've flushed through all of the cooling system. Right, so that's it for this one on the Sierra video. There is still more to come. There is still more that I have actually videoed that I need to compile into another part. So hopefully in that one I'll be putting it all back together, you know, all the coolant hoses back in, filling out the water, getting it running, and then obviously working on the battery tray and getting that all in so I can then sort of literally, at the moment it's a bit of a pain to get it started because there's no battery in it. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you got this far. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took something from the video and learned something from it. That's what I always hope to get out of a YouTube video. As always, I think, oh, I don't really want to watch that video. And then I watch it and I think, oh, I'm glad I did because I learnt that. So again, yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Cheers.